me, I know this doesn't sound right, but Jesus, in my mind, I don't see how he came from Joseph's body, but he did come from Mary's body. And so, maybe that is a silly thing to get stuck on, but
Oh, so it should be Mary's. You're saying it should be Mary's?
I'm not saying anything other than that it is a puzzle for me.
He's legally the son of Joseph,
Right.
according to the laws of Israel. And so he was legally, he could legally inherit the throne of David, according to Jewish law. But you're right, he's not from Joseph's actual body, but he is from Mary's. Luke chapter 3 describes the lineage of Jesus, and not going back to Abraham the way Matthew does, going all the way back to Adam, showing he's a son of man, like he is a human being born of Adam. But when you read them, they diverge at some point, but it's after David, meaning Mary is also the lineage of David. Luke 3 verse 31, son of Meliah, the son of Menah, the son of Mattatha, the son of Nathan, the son of David, the son of Jesse, the son of Obed, the son of Boaz. So you see David in both of them. And so whether it needs to be the physical seed or the legal
Boaz
heir,
brought Mary.
Jesus is
Boaz was Mary. David's.
Right. Praise
They
God.
both
Ruth
converged.
was
So Ruth made a good call there, huh?
She made a very good call.
And then you also got Rahab in there, and then
Bathsheba, all the simple. So anyway, we're bogging down. Let's push on. There's the Deuteronomy 32:43.
I'm kind of confused at this point. But
Are you confused? All right, sorry. Let me pause. What he's clearing up?
I kind of see what Matt's saying. Like, why would this is a terrible like I don't want to say it's terrible, but I do kind of be like, why would he use this? Is a really confusing thing to use for a prophecy, Sometimes I've gotten prophecies and I'll be like, how does that have anything to do with your point?
So what's the problem with it? Because I'm not really seeing what's the problem with it.
I think it's that he does wrong thing. I just don't know why that they would even use that if it could be
Well, he's not
maybe
referring, if he says he does wrong, he's not talking about Jesus.
And that's his point.
That's my point.
And-
He's not talking about Jesus. He's talking about Solomon.
I'm guessing.
No, he's just talking about his,
the house.
It says here, I will establish a house for you, and raise up your offspring. To me, this is just this is your future lineage.
Yeah, okay, that makes more. If that's what you're saying,
That's the way I've read. That's the way I see it. But I didn't.
Because when I first read it, I was like, okay, this has to be the house. I'm thinking of this as the house. The house is going to get punished. The offspring will be punished. They'll be disciplined.
Yeah, there's going to be all these things.
Yeah,
all these
but-
things are fulfilled, except for going on into
But
forever.
my love will never be taken away from
To be established forever hasn't happened yet. That's the only part that hasn't happened. Out of all
Right.
those.
And what I'm guessing is when the writer of Hebrews was writing this and quoting this psalm and expecting you to understand it, the people who he was writing it to were probably super familiar with it, had more understanding of it, and were better able to understand it. Is that
I think so.
a reasonable
That's not-
assumption?
Yeah.
Remember when Jesus was disputing with the Pharisees? So the Christ, whose son is he? What was their answer?
He said, if we say,
No, that's John the Baptist baptism. He says, whose son is the Christ?
if we
He says,
say,
he's the son of David.
Yeah, and then they said,
And then Jesus says, but
why would
David
David
calls
call
him
him
my Lord.
oh, he said, Lord, and said,
Not gonna be a son.
to my Lord, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, whoa, I don't know. After this, no one dared ask him any questions. But the understanding of
But see,
leaders of
then
Israel-
they should have known that then. How did they miss that then? If they really did read it,
Or they at least understood that he's the son of David. They at least understood that promise to Solomon, or that promise to David,
oh,
partially fulfilled in
they
Solomon.
were talking about this
is
section
about
right
the
here?
Christ.
They're talking about this right here?
They're talking about 2 Samuel 7.
Oh.
Whose son is the Christ? Oh, he's the son of David. So they understood it anyway. Deuteronomy 32:43 is the next one. I'll be to him a father, he'll be to me a son. We can read.
it's all the angels.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's
Deuteronomy what?
32.
let all the angels worship him.
32. Right?
which
43.
the Hebrew translation for the ESV is, "Rejoice with him, O heavens, bow down to him, all gods, for he avenges the blood of his children, he takes vengeance on his adversaries. He repays to those who hate him and cleanses his people's land."
And that's one of the few that they don't quote out of the Septuagint.
Mhm.
Most of the time, the New Testament writers quote the Septuagint. The Septuagint says all you gods, and so do the Dead Sea Scrolls with whatever other text they have. The Masoretic agrees with this text. Kind of there's similar things. That like they, we could get into detail about why that is, but do you want to tonight?
No.
Textual disagreement there.
No.
Basically, it's
Actually, I want to know what the point of this is. I mean, connect the dots for me here.
he takes vengeance on his adversaries. He repays those who hate him and cleanses his people's land. Moses said, "Yeah, I'm real important. You know, I'm the prophet of God, but one's coming after me. Listen to him." You know, and this is true. This is going to be true. And it's all I really got out of that one was it's also messianic in its fulfillment. It's also millennial in its fulfillment. Psalm
Wait,
104.
where does he say one will come back?
That's the song of Moses. That's what he.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of what he's saying. There's a prophet coming after. That's going to be great. Listen to that. I probably should look at that verse up. Psalm 104:4 is the he makes his angels winds and his ministers a flame of fire. That's well, can we put a pause on that one because that one ties in with verse 13. We'll come back to that. So make it a little note if you want to. But the least obvious, but perhaps most important, is the one right in Psalm verse. It's the quote in Psalm 45. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the next one. I jumped ahead. Psalm 102. Psalm 45. Matt, do you have a question?
Just back to Deuteronomy, because we skipped over it real quick. Can I read a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, so, "For the Lord will vindicate his people and have compassion on his servants. When he sees that their power is gone and that there's none remaining, bond or free, then he will say," this is the Lord speaking, "Where are their gods, the rock in which they took refuge, who ate the fat of their sacrifices, who drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them rise up and help you. Let them be your protection. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God beside me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and swear as I live forever, if I sharpen my flashing sword, and my hand takes hold on judgment, I'll take vengeance on my adversaries, and will repay those who hate me. My arrow is drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, with the blood of the slain and the captives, from the long-haired heads of the enemy. Rejoice with him, O heavens, bow down to him, O gods, for he avenges the blood of his children and takes vengeance on his adversaries. He repays those who hate him and cleanses his people's land." That's speaking of Yahweh, of Jehovah. And I don't see the messianic element there. This is Moses speaking, so most likely that fulfillment would have been when Joshua after him goes in and leads an army and starts
But he
killing
didn't
people.
kill all of them though.
Joshua did go in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeshua,
Mm-hmm.
Jehovah
The one who
saves,
saved, the one who saved.
did go in. He did get rid of people, and he did get a plot of land,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't get the full plot of land.
Oh, so there you go.
Did he? Solomon was a fulfillment of the promise to David.
And also that
Joshua was a
yeah.
fulfillment of the promise by Moses.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of them was a fulfillment.
And also for his
fulfillment
land
of the
and people. Then there couldn't be a full atonement for the land and the people.
prophets.
And
Yeah,
Joshua didn't do that.
Yeah, Joshua wasn't a priest.
There's no way Joshua could have made atonement for his land. He had to be a conqueror and a priest then.
That's a good point. Joshua wasn't the line of Levi, so he couldn't have been
He
a
couldn't
priest.
have been a priest.
But we're talking about this. Why is this a reference to the Messiah?
Because
Why is this
it's
a prophecy?
I think right there, that last line actually like nails it.
Why did
He
the
repays-
Hebrew writer use
What?
this?
Why did he identify this as talking about the Messiah? And that's kind of why I brought up the initial thing that I said was that you know, as I read through Psalms and I see these things that they've identified as messianic prophecy, I don't understand why they picked these things as messianic prophecy. It almost seems like